make sure your animation looks good from every angle. Everybody, this is Alessandro, welcome back to my channel. So one of the things I really stress about it with all my students, even though when I'm start to teaching them just to create a single poses, just a very basic body mechanic shot just with the lower body, is to make sure that your animation looks good, not just from the camera view, but also from every other angle. When you go in perspective and you move your character around, the contact of the feet looks correct, the character looks balanced, right? Of course, we want to push the peeling more from the camera angle, but it should look quite decent and quite good also when you move the camera around, right? And this is something very important, and I think people should learn this habit right from the beginning, because for personal experience, when I studied animation a long time ago, you know, at the beginning I was just focusing on the camera, right? I create a camera, I load the camera, I know the camera, I'm not gonna touch it anymore, and so I make sure that the pose and the animation looks good from the camera angle, right? And maybe it worked, right? Maybe it was a little bit easier, I could work a little bit faster, right? But then it came to a moment where I shift into games, and now I had that bad habit, right? I had that bad habit of that my character looks only good from the camera view. Then when I move around, there is a bunch of penetration, there is deformation not wrong, it just doesn't look very appealing, right? The arms were stretched all the way back, right? And as you can imagine, guys, in games doesn't work like that, because in games player control the camera, they can move the camera around, so things need to look good from every angle, right? And I can guarantee you guys, this kind of switch, it wasn't that easy to do, because when for a couple of years, 2-3 years, your mindset is just this one, you will struggle to make the shift. Obviously, it's not impossible, that's not what I'm saying, but you go through a struggle that is, you can avoid perfectly, right? If you get into this mode at the very beginning when you're studying animation, and you learn how to make your animation, your character, everything to looks good from multiple camera angles, then you're gonna have that consistent mindset over and over. And also, to be honest, even when you go in feature film, it always helps when you are this kind of mindset, because there are always moments where you need to do some changes, right? And some of those changes can be a lot easier if your character started to work very well also from the perspective view, right? If everything, the weight is properly done, the character is on balance, right? You need suddenly to adjust the way he turns around or whatever, it can be done a lot easier, right? If for whatever reason your torso, like here, the legs are somewhere else because of perspective effect or whatever, then you need to do some change, you're gonna struggle a lot, and sometimes you have to redo the animation, so it's gonna bring you really a lot of problem. By the way, guys, while you're talking, you're gonna see the image of one of my students who just did an assignment with me, and it's proving exactly the point what I'm trying to make, right? I was asking to have the character running around and jumping, but make sure that these things looks good from every angle. Obviously, at the beginning, it wasn't easy to hit the target, right? Sometimes things looks okay from the camera point of view, but then you go and look the arc from top view, side view, and things looks very broken. And my suggestion is always fix those things when you're doing the layer pass and the blocking pass. And the blocking, sorry, not the blocking pass. Because if you do that when you have very few keys, it's gonna be a lot easier to do a blocking pass and a spline polish that look very correct. I know a lot of people don't take care of it enough during the blocking, and then they struggle a lot more during the polish. Again, it's better that you do this one very soon. Of course, guys, there are exceptions where when you're working in feature film or cinematic and you need to hit something very specifically, you need a very specific camera shot, or maybe the project has a very specific cartoony style, that's obviously impossible to achieve what I'm saying, right? To make a character that looks good from every angle, that's simply impossible. But those are very specific cases, right? There are plenty of other cases where just being used to have something that looks good from every angle, it just makes more sense, right? So I will recommend you guys, even when you do your poses, even when you do your animation, start from the very basic and learn how to make things that look solid from every point of view, right? Because it will help your career later on, I can guarantee you about that. Okay guys, short video for today, hope you enjoy, and see you next time. Ciao.